Developing unique skills is necessary to become competent and effective in the world and to become a man of value. You know, a man wants to think that he can handle himself in any circumstance. A man must always strive to determine what skills he needs to acquire in order to behave effectively in his roles as a provider, protector, and procreator in order to make this a reality. Because these necessary skill sets revolved around fighting and hunting. They were simple and small for the prehistoric man. But nowadays, a far wider set of skills are needed. The modern man needs to be both a scholar and a fighter. Men today require both hard and soft skills. Today, we'll talk about 8 skills that a man has to have in the current world. Number 1, the technique of negotiation. In certain parts of the world, negotiating is either a necessary pain that is avoided on purpose, or it is a common occurrence. However, many men do not always consider this reality. You have the ability to negotiate in the majority of your business dealings, whether you realize it or not. Men are less likely to disagree in the modern day, which means that they are less likely to stand up for what is right. They accept the price without question and have lost all sense of justice, which makes it easy to take advantage of them immediately. That being said, you can redraw those boundaries if you know how to bargain. Additionally, it can save you a ton of money on difficult business deals, hotel rooms, and car rentals. Everything is in one place. You will gain confidence in the nuanced art of negotiating with time and practice, even though it may seem unusual at first. Number 2, get situational awareness practice. An active shooter, an aggressive stranger, or even a careless driver might pose a daily threat to your safety. Because men these days are so consumed with their own thoughts that they fail to recognize the danger and risk that the world still carries, it is often the case that a guy will not recognize the threat until it is too late. They live in their heads, concerned with what others may think of them and how they ought to act in public. They give situational awareness a lower priority than self-awareness. But never forget that a man's primary duty in this life is to protect. Therefore, if you are unaware of your surroundings, how can you safeguard your family and yourself? You really can't. Furthermore, you will also forfeit a crucial aspect of your manhood. Make sure that doesn't occur. In the field of tactics, it is a well-known fact that preventing a conflict before it arises is the best strategy for victory. Thus, sharpen your situational awareness to prevail in combat. Situational awareness is the ability to not only recognize what is going on around you, but also to plan ahead and have a backup plan in case something goes wrong. Number 3, start small conversations. Do you wish an acquaintance you happen to see in a store had not noticed you? Do you find it awkward to go to a party when you just know one person there, or do you find that every time you try to get up the courage to talk to that gorgeous girl at the coffee shop, things don't work out when you get to the counter? Every boy can relate in some way with the challenge of small chat. It's an additional means of putting oneself in an awkward circumstance. But a boy has to grow up to be a man. And one way to achieve this is by learning how to strike up conversations. Have you ever wondered how old folks can strike up a conversation anyplace, about anything? It's a necessary skill for any man to acquire. Even while it could hurt, the experience could genuinely change your life. You never know who you might cross paths with and become a close friend, business associate, or even wife. At first, it might feel like a job, but once it comes naturally, it's just another ability you have in your toolbox. Men need to engage in small conversation to strengthen their relationships. Number 4, firm handshake. A man's ability to make a good first impression depends on how firm his handshake is. A full grasp handshake that is given with precisely the right amount of pressure and is followed by you gazing them in the eyes conveys confidence and authority. Thus, every guy should shake hands firmly. With practice, you may use a person's handshake to infer information about their character and personality. Number 5, the art of storytelling. A man must possess the ability to narrate a captivating story. It could be for the purpose of entertaining your inner circle or perhaps establishing rapport and trust with a larger group of people. Regardless of the situation, captivating an audience with a story requires a certain level of skill. The experiences that give rise to great stories are the most crucial component of storytelling. If you have no stories to tell your kids about your life, what will you have to tell them? Get those memories started. Take chances and don't be scared of discomfort. The best stories originate from there. Number 6. Deliver a knockout blow. It makes sense to be a warrior in a garden rather than a gardener in a war. Fighting skills are essential for a man because it is his responsibility to defend his loved ones. Being defenseless when you are needed is a disgrace. Occasionally, circumstances find you in a situation you did not choose. If at all possible, stay out of fights. But if that isn't an option, finish the battle fast by landing a knockout strike. Use some fakes and high jabs to open up your opponent. When he lets down his guard, strike his face with a strong, direct blow. It is crucial that you do not drag out a fight if the situation turns against you. Number 7. Engage in logical arguments. The internet is to blame for the disappearance of logical reasoning in the present day. Online debates are essentially name-calling contests, where the winner is the person who yells the loudest. Nonetheless, a discussion or disagreement ought to be a polite exchange that steers clear of illogical delusions and makes use of sound arguments. Acquiring this ability enhances your capacity for persuasion, which offers you a competitive edge in the modern world and makes you stand out as a real man. Your arguments and convictions are supported by the substance of your speech, not by the intensity or volume of your voice. Number 8. Read something every day. Reading is the finest way for a man to learn about the world he lives in. Some have devoted their entire life to seeking the solutions that men are looking for. So, learn from others who have previously written it, rather than waste time testing it yourself. Recall that a wise man learns from other people's mistakes as well as his own. A fool only learns from his own mistakes. Therefore, don't let the lack of reading limit your knowledge. If you decide to start reading, don't make the error of compiling an unread book rack. Spend more time studying the subjects that are most important to you rather than attempting to learn all there is to know. Reading one book and putting its lessons to use is preferable than reading several without making any changes to your life. Remember to show love if you want to keep moving forward in your life. Brothers, until next time.